Yeah!
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Thursday, April 23rd, 2020, and what a show we have for you today. We have recurring guest Shoshana Weissmann, the senator, coming on. Also, a bunch of crazy Corona stories. What do you guys have for your stories today, fellas?
I'm not saying.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you that.
Not saying. No.
Nope.
No?
I'm
Pat?
going to have to tell you because I'm going first. I mean, but you'll hear
Well,
just in a second.
then jump in.
Well,
I'll
are we
jump.
doing that, or are we doing the interview first? Tell me now.
Oh, let's do the interview.
Yeah.
Let's do the interview.
Okay. Here's Shoshana. Welcome back to Hard Factor, DC insider, lover of sloths, and Barstool News Network's favorite crusader against regulations on Capitol Hill, Senator, not actually Senator, Shoshana Weissmann. Thank you for coming back on the show, Shoshana.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It's good to have you back. How long has it been? When did you last come on Hard Factor?
Time is meaningless, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah. One quarantine ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. One quarantine day ago.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on like a fucked up episode of Sesame Street with Shoshana's video she's got going on.
How so?
Well, with like the champagne and the Muppet and the
You got Gritty back there.
Gritty, yeah.
You got like a
I don't
weird
know what
pic-
you're
a
seeing. There's
weird
nothing
pic of
there.
Gritty.
Okay.
Subscribe to the Hard Factor News YouTube channel to see Shoshana's Zoom background and mascot that she brought with her to the interview.
I've been microdosing mushrooms, Shoshana, and
Oh.
yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it's the first day I'm kind of feeling it a little bit.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Is this what? Have you been going into Zoom meetings just like trying to break people with your backgrounds? And
Yeah. So the first week I rolled out some Snapchat hot dog ones, and like all work meetings, I did a work event online on telemedicine. So I photoshopped Dr. Mario into a doctor's office, and that was my background for the duration of the event. So I've been trying to make it topical or something you wouldn't expect. Once I found out you could do it, it's just been a lot of fun.
I personally would only expect Dr. Mario to be in the office. He's a hard worker.
It's an unknown game, that Dr. Mario. I can't do cool backgrounds because my computer processor sucks. So it tells me every time I try to do virtual background, it's like, get a better computer. And
Hey,
then
does
you
everybody
can.
else want to do a virtual background
Yeah,
right now?
it's
And
just
then
fun. It's fun because I'm not going to spend $2,500 during quarantine. So it's just is
Yeah.
what it is.
And as long as Shoshana keeps saying how so whenever someone questions her background, that's scary when she does that. I didn't know how to react to it.
That's what I like to go for. I just want to take people off guard as often as possible.
Yeah.
And I do that sometimes unintentionally, but many times very intentionally.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah,
worked.
Speaking of that, what's the lockdown like in DC where you're trying to take people off guard a lot?
Everything's pretty quiet. People are on the streets a lot, just running and walking, but they're mostly keeping their distance. I haven't been outside in 2 weeks because I have allergies, and I figure so I also have 5 autoimmune diseases. Figure maybe it's not the best time for me to go out with my extra lowered immunity. But everyone's been inside. Yeah,
Stay inside.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to end up in heaven like the many animals that Bill de Blasio has murdered in cold blood.
Oh.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, he's swimming in dick pics, right? Like this.
I love that. Yeah. That's America.
I think they shut down the thing today. I think it finally got shut down.
Yesterday they shut it down, but they're bringing it back up.
Yeah.
They're bringing it back up.
It does seem like a government overreach, right? Asking them to send you their dick pics.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with asking as long as it's not required. But, these informal asks from government often turn into regulations.
Hold on. They didn't ask for the dick pics, guys. All they did was open the phone lines, and that's where dick pics go.
Technically,
they'll fill any space unoccupied.
Technically, if people were putting their dick next to another dick within 6 feet, they were asking for dick
That is
pics.
true. Yep, that is true.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. That
Yeah, I mean, it was
gone
terrible
unmentioned.
for gay men's brothels or bathhouses
he
where
basically
there wasn't
said
social distancing.
Every
It was boy who
docking
cried wolf.
incident you see, turn in all the dockers.
Yeah, that's what he asked for, essentially. Hey, Pat, nice background. You changed it up.
Yeah,
what
thanks, man.
happened there? Pretty good. See that, Mark?
Yeah, I saw it.
Good one. Subscribe to the Hard Factor News YouTube channel.
I wanted Mark to feel what it's like to have a virtual background.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
That's really nice of you.
Yeah.
Give him a little feel. All right, Shoshana, let's talk a little bit licensing reform. During Corona lockdown, you say you've been busy, which is surprising. Like, we've been busy doing, sort of longer podcasts and stuff. Not many people have cranked up during the lockdown, but you have as well. What's happening with that?
So when this all started, I honestly thought that I just would not be very busy for like a month or two. But it's been really crazy, basically because every state has realized, oh, we need doctors to be able to go where they're needed. And we need medical professionals to be able to have more flexibility. We need to loosen regulations. So that means allowing them to work across state lines, letting nurses do more. Nurses aren't legally allowed to do everything that they were like trained and qualified to do in a lot of states, even though like when in the states where they are and they're allowed to not always work under a doctor, the medical outcomes are better, access to care is better. So the stats already proved that it was a good thing. So that was one quick reform. And there's been tons of others.
Less regulations are better, just and it's proven, but people still, they just want to regulate, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot of industry people. It's the American Medical Association versus the Nurses Association. That's always how it is, and it's frustrating. But at least they've been chill at this time, saying like, "Hey, let people go where they're needed and do what's
So,
needed."
are you accomplishing then a lot more in this moment in time than you would otherwise because of the lockdown, basically?
Kind of. I've been crazy busy just pushing out papers and articles and explaining to people how all this stuff works because I'm the only one who's like, yay, let me talk to everyone about regulatory reform all the time. But a lot of this stuff is just temporary. It's executive orders, and that stuff should be temporary because, like, if a governor can just be like, YOLO, this is like what I'm doing now, screw the legislature, like, that's not a great thing. So,
right,
so
but do you think that I think what Will's point is, and it's interesting, it's like progress, right? Sometimes comes from extenuating circumstances, and there might be some backslide, as you're saying. These are not permanent orders; they're executive orders, but it might also open people's eyes a little bit after the quarantine to be like, oh man, maybe we should revisit that policy, right? Is that kind of thing happening, or?
I'm hoping it will end up more long term, but it's so hard to get rid of regulations. Just in any case, it's a lot easier to get stuff in than it is to take it out, and it's like eating too much at like PF Chang's or something. So it's frustrating there because like you have a lot of good reforms that are going to be helpful not just now but in the future. And it's funny too because a lot of these reforms have been argued for like decades by people other than me, like when I was a kid or before I was born, and now you're seeing it overnight. And I'm hoping that will show people, hey, like, everyone knew this stuff would work. That's why they did it so quickly. It's time to make a lot of this stuff permanent. But I don't think that we're going to see as much of it codified as we'd like, just because getting regulations out of place in a permanent way is just a really, really hard thing to do. You have to fight people in the public who will say like, oh, you just hate health and safety. What about, regulations always protect us. And you have to fight industries that have kept these in place. So it's always going to be an uphill battle, but I am hoping that this is going to show real life examples.
Do you get angry when you hear the song Regulators come on?
Who's that by?
Nate G. and Nate Dogg. I'm
Warren
sorry,
G.
Warren G. And Nate
Warren
Dogg.
G.
Well, the group is called the Regulators, but then also they also
Down
have a track.
up.
Yeah.
We'll play it for you.
I don't know what the name of the
I have a
song is.
question for you. So I think healthcare is really interesting. You mentioned doctors and state lines. I guess I'm an idiot. I guess doctors are kind of like kind of like lawyers. Yes, they're like lawyers. I guess where you have to kind of like pass a bar exam or a
I didn't think they had
exam
borders.
in each state. I didn't know they had borders. Like what?
Yeah. So one really good example to help people understand is with telemedicine, the doctor has to be licensed in the state in which the patient exists or the state in which the platform is located. And the regulations vary per state, but it's all state stuff. And I know it sounds like the kind of thing that should be national, but national licenses might not be constitutional and furthermore are like a terrible idea just because you have like all these lobbies getting in insane regulations, and state ones are hard enough to get rid of, but federal ones are like impossible if they mess up.
Let me throw this at you.
But temporarily, are they allowed to cross borders now? Is that what you're saying? Like,
it depends on the state. So most states have allowed that, especially the states where there's a lot of cases, so that people licensed in other states can even just go and practice there. In some cases, immigrant doctors and foreign trained people in medical schools, that's been a wild fight. Like, they have to go through the whole process again in a lot of cases in order to get licensed here. And now New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts are like, come practice here. Like, let's at least do something with these people instead of having them not be able to contribute at all, which is just really wild for me as someone who hasn't even been able to touch the issue because there's been so much I needed to get rid of first.
Shoshana, what if, throwing an example out here, you're on a plane, someone starts having a heart attack. You hear on the intercom, is there a doctor on board? Tough call, right? Because you don't know what state you're in. Technically,
what state are we in? Yeah,
yeah, you're in God's state at that point.
No, that's actually a really good question.
Malpractice, who are you going to sue? You know.
I have a feeling that, I mean, in a lot of cases, they're just not going to go after those people. Not always, though. Like, there's times when you think, oh, what a good Samaritan. No one's gonna, but government will be like, oh, screw you for helping that guy. In many cases. I have a feeling it would go by, like, technically, wherever, like, I'm sure, like, regulations apply to other things in airplanes where, like, one state has a regulation and the other doesn't.
Oh, you don't need to find a real answer to this, Shoshana.
Well, that's like...
Oh, no. But I'm thinking through it. I'm like, wait a sec. Like, give me 2 states.
What you were talking about, the asshole people are I think Chuck Palahniuk or whatever his name is, the Fight Club author, wrote a book called Choke, where a guy would go to restaurants and choke and then sue the people. Like, he made a living off of, like, purposely choking in restaurants and then, like, suing people and stuff like that. Yeah. So they're out there.
There was a SpongeBob episode to that effect, but it was about plankton slipping on the floor, and there was no wet floor sign. So similar kind of thing, but that was to get the secret Krabby Patty formula.
Yeah, that's a better version of it, I think. Yeah. So what else though? What else are you dealing with? I know you've been interested in like some of the essential, non-essential jobs like hair salons, cuttings. Like, what's going on with all that type of stuff?
Yeah, so in pretty much every state and locality, with some exceptions, you can only practice like a cosmetology in a salon, and it's illegal to do so in like people's homes and elsewhere and stuff like that. So, you know, if the concerns are due to coronavirus,
is it? I need to talk with my wife. Oh, is it?
Yeah, you should send her to the government. You don't even need to pay in many circumstances for it to be illegal.
Why would there ever need to be a certificate you need?
Because Will, you ever seen someone with a bad haircut? Try to take them seriously.
Yeah.
Well, but shouldn't the business be liable for the bad haircutter? If they're going to
no, this is an issue greater than that. Will, it's bigger than capitalism. It's you got to have a good haircut.
The cosmetology at home was news to me. I thought it was like Uber drivers where you can just kind of go because that's what.
It's not. And I, you know, if the concerns are about coronavirus, I'm very sympathetic. But in a lot of cases, you have these cosmetologists saying, "Oh, you can't just practice anywhere," and it's like, well, then what did you pay all that money and like spend years training for this for?
So are you breaking the law by shaving your own head in the bathroom?
So by the writing of most statutes, no. I think there might be somewhere like if it's not written clearly enough, that could be illegal. I actually wrote a piece before this all started explaining that the staffer who blow dries Mark Zuckerberg's armpits is actually committing a crime in many states.
Yeah,
that's a union job.
Yeah.
I knew there was something up with Zuckerberg.
Yeah, it's that you need a license to blow dry hair and
illegal
all
licensing.
Wait, what the hell are you talking about? I may have missed this story. There's someone blow drying Zuckerberg's armpits.
Yeah, before speeches and stuff. That was a story like back in February or something. But yeah, so he has a staffer blow dry his armpits.
And they're a scab.
Right.
Wow. They're not in the union?
That's because he refuses to wear any color but gray, which is hilarious.
Also, your pits get sweaty. Yeah, your pits get sweaty when you put yourself in one of those Bank of America tubes and shoot yourself out to safety like he does. From
it's true. But guys, blow dryers, generally, it's hot. They're hot, you know? I don't know how that's going to help.
Yeah, they have a cooler setting.
Maybe on
they
yours.
do. Yeah. So I think they use the cool ones, but it's illegal because in every state except for 2, it's illegal to blow dry hair without a license. You know, It's really dangerous.
Wow. Well, Wes got us all hemped up because he made us all dress up like women for a sketch the other week. So we had all sorts of people practicing cosmetology on all of us. So.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Well, the essential business like salons and nails and stuff. It's. I mean, I was talking to my sister and she's like, I'm so fucked up and I'm so tired of being quarantined because I can't do the normal things that make me feel like normal, like going to get my hair cut, going to get my nails done, getting a massage, whatever it is. It's throwing people's routines off, which really fucks with them. So I think that's an argument too for letting these places open and letting people go back to at least that kind of routine that they're used to, right?
You can't the suicides will outweigh the epidemic death.
Yeah, that's a terrible argument.
I'm just asking.
Again, when it comes to like these places having to be closed for coronavirus, I'm sympathetic, but there are a lot of cases where it's kind of walking the line, like places where you can't have alcohol delivered. In Pennsylvania, they keep
what's up with that? What's up with that?
So like in Pennsylvania, they created a portal where you could like order alcohol, but only at random times, and they wouldn't tell you the times. And like you might get through, it was like the worst website, but like it was coded to be the worst website, and they keep having to redo
was
it
for pickup only? Is it or delivery during those times?
So I can't remember exactly, but I think that they're one of the states that has like state controlled alcohol stores. Yeah. So they wanted to.
One of the Nazi states.
Yeah. Package stores.
This seems like a beacon for DUIs. Like everyone get here the next hour, like.
Yeah. So
come to the state to get your liquor.
Yeah.
I just love the teetotalers, poorly coding a website to confuse the drunks. Because like, you know what I mean?
That's fucked
It's like
up.
one way to curb binge drinking.
Real problem.
Yeah.
It was so bad around the time like a lot of this started that people were driving to New Jersey and waiting in long tight lines for alcohol, and it's just sometimes the way in which government is inept. It's just like I don't know whether to laugh or cry or yell at someone.
Now that's like history repeating itself, because my dad and his friends would have to drive from Philadelphia to Jersey or West Virginia to get beer because the age was 18 in some of those states, but not in Pennsylvania back then. So that's history repeating itself. It's a rite of passage to drive from like the Pennsylvania area to Jersey to get booze.
Yeah, you learn a lot about yourself when you got to do stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It's the drive. it's the drive. The time alone on the drive.
On the way to pick up booze. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a list of different industries here, Shoshana. Let us know if you think regulations are hurting or helping these industries right now during coronavirus.
Sure.
Number one. Weed deliveries.
Ooh, I haven't looked into that, but I mean, like, who cares? Like, let shit happen. I don't fucking care. I don't know why government cares. Like, I mean, people should be allowed to inject the weed and the things the kids are doing.
That's not how we do it.
Yeah, it's not really.
Inject the weed.
Rub it on your skin, baby.
Oh,
sex workers. Yeah. Next up, sex workers. How are they?
There's probably a legitimate point for coronavirus regulations there.
What is it?
Okay.
Well, what about webcams though?
What is it though?
Can't spread it vaginally, so.
I didn't know that. That's
only Pat says that. We've not had any medical professionals.
Pat read one study, and we've gone over this time and time again. If you have sex with someone that you're likely to be, within 6 feet of their mouth, I don't understand.
I didn't even read a study. It's just gut.
Yeah. But what about like solo webcam people? Like they're getting screwed over.
I haven't seen regulations affecting them. Have there been stories about that?
Yeah. Well, what about the regulations of them not being able to check that box of
they can't get their stimulus check, right?
They can't.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, I mean, the way we like half-ass regulate a lot of stuff just makes no sense. Like we're like, oh, we'll sort of allow this, but like not exactly. And it's not just them. It's I know that in a lot of cases, like the small business loans can't be given to people who have certain criminal convictions, and it's like, oh, they're running businesses. They're in the same position as other people. Like you can't be like, well, that's a bad guy.
To me, if you're gonna withhold money from past criminals and make them poor, guess what they're gonna do?
Mm-hmm. I wonder.
They're gonna commit crimes, right? Like,
now,
I don't know.
It seems like regulations are always allowed if you owe anything to the government at all. Right? Like, I mean, that's a situation. It seems like if you are personally indebted to them in any way, every regulation is on the table for them to hit you with.
Oh, right? Yeah. I mean, that's how it's treated all the time. And it's frustrating as hell. I mean, like there's states where you can't become a barber if you've had certain convictions. It's like, what the shit is a barber gonna do? Like
slit your throat.
Yeah,
I've heard that
Especially
argument in earnest from people, and it like makes me want to
have a bunch of criminal barbers running around.
like
Give him any of the blades.
Like Pat mentioned with the straight razor, it's a little alarming to have a stranger straight razor.
There's a play, Shoshana, called Sweeney Todd.
Exactly.
I think they made it into a movie. I'm going to recommend it to you because once you see it, you can't unsee it.
No, the problem there was something very different. It was that he crossed state lines and did not get relicensed in the new state. He didn't have a conviction.
Fair enough.
What about at-home dentistry? So this is popular in Florida.
That's gotta be more regulated than at-home cosmetology.
Well, are dentists under the same strict regulations that doctors are?
Oh yeah. And actually, there's a lot of oddities when it comes to eye care and dentistry, where basically like there's lower forms of care like teeth whitening or like online eye exams that the respective industries try to stop because that's like infringing on their income and stuff. So it's funny because those two areas just have a lot of bullshit in them. There's like this North Carolina dental case, which is one of the famous like antitrust cases in the area. And it's just like always fucking eye care and dentists raising shit. And I'm like, stop fucking doing this shit. I don't want to have to yell at you more, but you make me do this.
What about do masseuses? I don't know the plural of that. Masseurs, do they fall into the cosmetology? Like practicing at home?
I feel like that's another one like cutting hair where you cannot regulate that. That should be totally free.
So my mom's a massage therapist actually, and she's also an herbalist. Like I come from a long line of hippies. She's also like an herbalist and an astrologist and like some other stuff too. But I've seen the stuff.
Can we get her contact information for services in case?
Yeah, let me read off her phone number. 8675-309. Don't worry about the area code.
Jenny, I got your number. I had that as my voicemail number for a while. So
I've been thinking about changing up my herbal routine. So
Oh yeah. My mom can talk to you about.
Right now, it just consists of one herb.
Correct. I was thinking about spreading out.
Yeah.
Branching
out.
out.
You're that into parsley?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
same.
Yep.
But for real, can I call a masseuse like to come to my house or no?
So I think that's a little bit more liberal in most states. Probably not at the moment with coronavirus, but generally it's a lot more liberal there. Most of the regulations there deal with like different kinds of massage therapy. And again, I think it's all bullshit. You shouldn't need a fucking license. Like if I can like go up like Joe Biden and like rub someone's shoulders, like that's, that can be counted. But one thing that a lot of people don't know is that horse massage therapists are licensed in some places. Like you can't fucking massage a horse without a license.
Well, Shoshana, I don't know if you know this, but they don't actually massage the horses.
They massage a part of the horse.
Yes, the horse massage therapist is just a nice name for their job.
Is that really what their job is? That's a horse massager?
Hand job butlers.
And then they put it in like a super tight case with like liquid nitrogen, and they get on a private jet and fly it to a guy that wants to shove it in his horse for millions of dollars.
They should call them excavators, honestly.
Yeah.
We've had long discussions in the past about who's the guy who they fly in to extract the semen as soon as the last.
Like when Harambe got shot, they flew someone in to jerk him off for sure.
The last living person of that species, last living.
He's like on a beach and he gets a call. He's like a fucking gorilla got shot. Oh, I gotta cut this vacation short. And then he
or she
flies
is
to the Cincinnati
Jerk off a dead gorilla.
Yeah.
In the event of the horse, I bet it's someone with a horse face, a human with a horse face. But yeah, you want that person to be good looking.
Well, that's an industry that you cannot regulate.
No,
you would kill it in its tracks.
There's really strict regulations on importing animal semen. There's I want to say
not endangered animals probably.
What about exporting?
There goes Plan B.
Yeah, if you're taking animal semen in or out of the country, like there's a lot of regulations that go into that. One of my friends runs Crime a Day on Twitter. He's the guy who wrote like how to become a federal criminal, like all the cool ways you can become a federal criminal. Like there's stuff about pregnant polar bears and stuff like that. Not all of it deals with semen, but a lot of it does. But there's a lot of regulations that deal with animal semen.
Sounds like it's not worth the risk.
So we were on to something
for the animal.
We were on to something with this rich exotic jerker offer of animals. It exists.
Yeah.
What a boardroom that is.
Yeah. you have to demonstrate it to get the job.
Good morning, everyone.
All right,
I'm just gonna give you this gig.
Here's you got 7 minutes and a gorilla. Come back with a jar full, or
what
don't
kind
come
of
back.
Stats? Yeah, right. You got to have like how far away he went and then how fast he got and the volume.
Yeah, that's lunch. When we come back, we're gonna get
really
into
show
pigs.
Show us what you can do out there, and we're gonna be timing you.
Yeah, they have like a QB rating of these guys. Like that guy's like a 68, but that guy's a 75.
That's definitely a bring your own gloves profession too. That's like tools of the trade. You got a nice pair of gloves.
It's also the most professional OnlyFans account.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely take a personal video when you're doing it for later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, you just want to maximize your gains.
That's for the dark
side hustle.
Yeah.
All right. One more industry, homeschooling. How's that going to be affected by this? Does that have, like, you dealing with any of that?
Or education in general?
Yeah, I haven't dealt with much, but my dad is a teacher. I can't get into certain specifics.
How many parents you got, Shoshana?
I have 12. I just have so far a mom and dad, but I have other people I call dad, just like oh dad and shit like that, and Tom Nichols, stuff like that. But but my dad has his students like giving the most ridiculous excuses for like not being able to do their work. I wish I could share because some of them are just like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's not this, but it's along the lines of like, oh, my head's itchy, I just couldn't. Like, it's really like along those lines. And so the public school system has not been great at transitioning. Some schools I know have done better than others, but honestly, like just dealing with my dad every day telling me like the excuses his students are coming up with to like not do work, it's just like, it's like the dog ate their homework would like seem like a really good excuse at this point.
That's a good point, right? The Corona lockdown can't go too long because people are going to start using it as an excuse for everything.
Yeah,
education's going to the shitter.
I'm ready to sue my son's private school because I'm not getting my money's worth right now.
That's what I was going to ask next. It seems like what private schools. They fall under different regulations, right? They can force schools to reopen earlier, maybe, or no? Or like how?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm actually not totally sure how that works logistically. I would hope though that they'd have like an even stronger hand with students. Like for some schools, I know that kids can just choose not to go to class. Like that's a thing that they can do. So my dad often talks with like just a few
That's what I called college.
Oh yeah, I didn't do shit. What my GPA in college was like 2.8. I did not give two fucks.
Yeah.
I like how Shoshana says that, but that's like a great GPA for me.
Well, not for me and Shoshana. From high school to college, probably dropped a little bit, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir on that one. I'm pretty sure we're all swimming in the twos.
Good.
I lost academic scholarships because all I had to do was keep a 3.0, and I was so lazy. I was so lazy that I couldn't, and then I got it back for a semester, then I lost it again. I just had to keep a 3.0 and save my parents a ton of money, but didn't do that.
Hey, Shoshana, what's
the
vibe in D.C. right now? I know there's like a heated debate going on about these people that are protesting and perceive the government regulations as an invasion of their liberty. Right, and then there's the people that are like, no, this is a necessary kind of nationalistic approach, like closing the borders that sometimes you have to employ when things are dangerous or there's extenuating circumstances. What's the vibe in D.C.? Like, how are people?
So everyone's being dicks to each other. Like, neither side will.
But that's normal, right?
I mean, but it's like I kind of thought that like if a lot of people were dying and like becoming poor, that like. You might have a little sympathy, but there's people who are like, oh, you know, whatever the government says, even if they hate Trump, like within reason, like we can shut down forever, how long ever we need to, and that's it. And then you have like the people who are like, hey, I'm becoming poor, and like I understand this, but this is weighing more heavily for me.
Right.
And some of those people don't take the medical stuff seriously enough. So it's just like the normal shit of politics, unfortunately. Some politicians are really good with taking it seriously. I always go back to Doug Ducey in Arizona. He's my favorite human alive, and he's been trying to do the right thing. He's been really active, just trying to figure out the right balance. And some states have done better than others, but it kind of sucks that like the people can't like appreciate one another, like that poverty is kind of a big deal, but so is like not everyone dying.
Yeah.
And
so
it would
you're
I'm
saying
you.
you don't want Brian Kemp's. Would you take his approach, Georgia?
I didn't see the full order, like genuinely. Like I'm not sure how much it reopens, but I'm a little nervous about reopening this soon.
Bowling alleys this week.
Yeah,
Gyms.
Yes, that
come on.
does not seem wise.
Planet Fitnesses across the state open.
That worries me. Like gyms and stuff doesn't seem like a great idea. Like if it's
But
bowling,
maybe he'll be right though. You never know.
yeah, and he could be. I hope he is. Obviously,
Lollipops.
Everybody does. Yeah.
Lollipop swap groups are open. You know, where you exchange lollipops that you've been sucking on with other people. Georgia open this week, Friday.
I will say this is what sucks, and I want your opinion on this, Shoshana. Like, let's say Kemp, I don't know what his approval rating is like. Maybe he's fucked. Maybe he's on the way out. Maybe there's no chance he'll get reelected. Maybe this kind of creates a scenario that's dangerous for politicians to potentially swing for the fences, right? In order, because it's like if they're right, awesome, they'll definitely turn around their approval rating. If they're wrong, fuck it, I'm on the way out the door anyway. Might as well try something.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in Florida when they opened up the beaches. They're looking for some.
I don't think he was up for re-election, but yeah, you're right. You did.
Yeah.
But I'm with Shoshana. This is confusing to me. It's like if a global pandemic can't be a common enemy that brings people together, then I don't think anything can. Like even space aliens. Like,
come on, this thing would have had to be way rougher of a pandemic.
I don't know. I don't know if people would still be united. People seem to be not going to do that anymore.
I take the issue with space aliens because we can always unite around having sex with aliens who come to our country or our world.
That's a good point. But see, then it's going to split
up.
Be a niche. It's going to be the alien fuckers versus the not alien.
Yeah,
fuckers.
Exactly.
And then we're going to have a serious problem when that happens.
It's going to be divisive. It's going to be. You think it's divisive now? You think it's divisive now?
There is no commonality that we'll be able to find. There's no enemy that will unite humans.
Well, I still maintain that having sex with aliens is going to be that, and also with robots.
Well,
space
girls are easy.
Yeah.
Robots.
Oh yeah.
Like
Everyone knows
Earth girls
that.
are easy.
People are acting like they're not going to be into the robots. They're going to come around.
But fucking a robot is very private. People don't like to talk about that. That's a home.
As long
thing.
as they can claim they don't do it.
Aliens, very sensitive, also very, from what I know, social creatures. If you're fucking one, they want you to tell the world. They want you to update your status and post photos and stuff.
You could show your alien off at a bar. You can't show your real doll at the bar.
Yeah. It'd be heavy. It'd be impractical.
Yeah, they have groups for that.
To bring it there.
You could
Put it on a coat rack.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Just like everyone has those like hanging up in Japan. Like I know
look, they're hanging out together. That's so funny. They're friends.
Just like posing them like in funny situations.
Well, we know how we'd pose them.
I think I took yours. Sorry.
No, but I don't know. I feel like you could
Somebody stole my wife.
So I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, and they have these snapping turtles now. So I've been posing them around my island, like having tea, doing magic tricks and stuff. So I think same principle applies here. You could pose like the real dolls, like, I don't know, like doing a magic trick or just going out for tea or something, or, you know.
Shoshana, who in DC is who's being the biggest piece of shit when it comes to social distancing? Like who's the one that you're like, fuck this piece of shit?
Oh, I haven't seen bad examples. I saw some people hosting parties like the first week of this shit, and I'm like, maybe like you don't do that. But I haven't really seen anything too bad, except for like random people who like I'm walking down the street and they like walk into me, as like, you know, in cities that shit happens. But I'm like, maybe now isn't the best time to do like shit like that. So aside from that, I think it's actually been pretty good. Like everyone's kind of been like terrified and inside. It's been nice.
Is it Matt Gaetz, the guy from Florida? Was he wearing the gas mask ironically, or was he taunting the coronavirus back in the day, like when he did that?
I think he was taunting the coronavirus. Yeah, that wasn't a great call.
He also just came out with a video today saying that Biden has been a simp for China.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that.
Which is it?
Oh my gosh, I can't like.
Going there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Like I don't know why, but like. The term simp, like if you're trolling around online, fine. But like if you're a congressman, like I just feel like
he's talking about an 80-year-old man in a nation.
Yeah, like I feel like I love using shit wrong. Like I love calling pictures of mountains thirst traps and like shit like that. But like it's another level, like to call like Biden a simp. Like that really bothers me for some reason.
I still don't know. I still don't know what simp means. Is it like
Thank you, Mark.
Is it like being a basic bitch? Is that what a simp
No,
is?
let me tell you, Mark. You know how there's like a girl we went to high school with, and she posts a photo online that's clearly a thirst trap, like something that's like like meant to be sexy.
I'm familiar with thirst trap,
like yoga pants.
So the guys that comment on that photo, they're like, "Damn, girl," or like, "What up, girl? Looking good, girl."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Why are you? This is never gonna work for you. Why are you doing this?" Like commenting on her photo isn't gonna get you her number or a date. It makes you look like an asshole or some sort of.
So if you were to send gifts to these people, probably a simp.
Yeah, and like. Yeah. But it applies more broadly. It's not just sexual. It's just like people who are kind of like basic fans, but like won't shut up and like want attention and are not going to get that attention. So like me and George Will has yet to respond to my many tweets telling him that he is bae. So I'm basically George Wilson.
Yeah, and also Biden's got some goods in exchange for that, so I think that he's not a simp by definition. And speaking of that, last question brought to you by Predict It. Shoshana, who are you putting your money on for the 2020? For both, I wanted to ask you two markets. Who are you putting your money on for who Biden's picking for VP, and then also for who's winning the 2020 general?
Oh, shit. I think Trump's going to win again. It's been hard to do campaigns like while the whole world is like falling apart and shit. So that does end up like being any attention.
He gets his Corona campaign every day. So
yeah, so it's weird. So I think it's gonna be Trump, and then like, oh man, I kind of like, you can tell that Cuomo really wants to like move up, but I don't think it's gonna be Cuomo. But I feel like, I don't know, if I were to bet on anyone, I'd probably put my money there right now.
For Cuomo, so you think he'll go back on his promise to pick a woman? Wow.
Oh shit, he did that.
He promised, yeah.
You just don't even care. You just don't even care who he picks.
Well, you're like that is that is an interesting response from a woman, because they're probably like, "Yep, I knew it. It's Cuomo. He lied."
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't even believe him.
Yeah, doesn't even believe him. If you were to say which woman,
I'll believe it when I see it.
I could see Warren because she would pull together some more of the party for him. But there's other, I mean, there's better choices, but I'm not sure. Like it could be Klobuchar. Like she also brings in a bit of a different audience. Like, I don't know. I really don't know, in part because I tune out of politics because it makes me really depressed. So like I'll know everything about like a random state legislative race or like a random governor race. But when it comes to like the shit everyone cares about, I've tuned out because I'm depressed by it.
We'll take your Warren pick because we've been picking Warren. And if you go to
we want Warren. Yeah. We all got money on Warren, so we like that pick. And Thank you, Shoshana.
If you go to www.predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 and create an account, you get a free 20. And if you put all 40 of that into Warren, you can make a couple $100 for VP.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You could.
Yay, money.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're all going to need it when that stimulus check runs out. So thank you, Shoshana, for joining us. We'll have you on again as soon as we can.
Yay! Or else.
Yeah.
And that interview with Senator Shoshana was brought to you by Caliper CBD. And I'll tell you what, boys. Who says taking care of yourself needs to be hard? That is what's great about CBD, is that it helps you feel better without making any drastic changes to your routine. It's just a tiny little packet of Caliper effervescent CBD that dissolves into your favorite drink in seconds. Your coffee in the morning, that's a good one, including water, which is how I like to take it. I know that sounds weird, but this CBD tastes great, tasteless in water. Tastes like pure, delicious water. Like I say, I take it in the morning. It helps me relieve stress and pain from working out, but you can take it whenever you want. I know you guys like to take it at night, right, to help you sleep?
Absolutely.
Sometimes?
Yep.
Yes, that's my preference.
You want me to say the tea thing again?
I've done it in the morning, though.
I like to take it before conference calls.
Yeah.
That's a good one, too, to chill you out a little bit. Wes, give your tea recipe, Wes.
Yeah, so, again, I'm just going to go tea with a little bit of honey right before you go to bed. The sleepy time tea is the best to do it with.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
You put sleepy time tea in this CBD Caliper packet is Counting sheep.
Sweet
Those
dreams.
kind of
You will
rhymes.
be-
You put the
you will be
sleepy time
sleeping-
tea in the
You will be sleeping
With
even
the
in the
CBD.
quarantine. So that's true, Pat.
Yeah.
They okay. Don't give too much away. Caliper have to pay us the big bucks. Unlike CBD oils, Caliper CBD powder is completely tasteless. It mixes easily in any food or drink. No weird taste, oily residue, mouthfeel. You know what I'm saying? The tinctures, they're strange. Caliper is not strange. It's amazing. Just tastes like I said, like pure water. I like to take it in water. Tastes like water. Rediscover.
They should be called stinctures because they stink.
Exactly. Yeah. Compared to these effervescent packets, I mean, it's nothing. Rediscover your best self with CBD products that's clinically proven to be superior to these oils, these disgusting oils. It's clinically proven that you absorb 450% more CBD with Caliper powder compared to
Holy
tinctures. And
shit. That's a lot of CBD.
It doesn't even taste better.
Well, it's exactly 20 milligrams, Pat, but you get it all.
Not only it tastes better, it feels better. Everything about it is better. Caliper is superior. And that's why you need to go get the deal. Individual packets give you the benefit of CBD wherever you go. Caliper is completely THC-free. All the goodness of CBD with absolutely no high, all natural. You're going to pass every single drug test, no GMO ingredients. To get 20% off your first order when you use promo code FACTOR at trycaliper.com/factor. Again, you can try Caliper CBD risk-free for 30 days. If you don't love it, they'll give you a full refund. That's trycaliper.com/factor. That's Caliper, CALIPER, trycaliper.com/factor. Don't forget promo code FACTOR for 20% off your first order.
All right.
All right, guys, let's get into some high-level coronavirus news. Wednesday evening, President Trump signed his executive order banning immigration to the United States for an initial period of 60 days that could be extended if deemed necessary by Trump. There is a provision in this deal that indicates that 10 days before the ban expires, so 50 days in, the Secretaries of Homeland Security, State, and Labor can make a recommendation to the president on whether or not it should continue. And I'm like, okay. My teachers in high school made a recommendation. I stopped bringing my fart machine to class because it was causing a disruption, but that didn't stop me from hitting the fart button whenever someone bent over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of like giving Trump the key to the city, except in this case, the city is the southern border.
Exactly. So, look, the reason for the travel ban, somewhat understandable. There's a bit of debate about it, whether it's necessary or not. But the main reason is to prevent outsiders from taking Americans' jobs while we recover from the recession. It clearly outlines that there's they don't want too much supply of workers for, not enough demand in terms of jobs, and citing that there would be persistently high unemployment if the labor supply outpaces the demand, right? It then goes on to specify who the order is trying to help, quote, African Americans, other minorities, and those without a college degree, and the disabled.
Tons of people that just got laid off.
Yeah.
I see. It's not really about that. It's about. I mean, it may be in some respects, but it specifically says these people are people that are generally in between employment and unemployment, and that's why I think it specifically listed out those groups of people. It's not specifically to help people that necessarily just got laid off, but the idea is that if these people who are generally fighting for jobs aren't having to fight for jobs, then it'll generally help the economy out.
But if you just lost your job and they're trying to stop people from coming in and undercutting you on your way back.
100. But it wouldn't be, yeah. I mean, this is for like, jobs that not a lot of people want. These are, jobs that are payroll jobs that immigrants can get when they first come in.
Sure, but sometimes that changes when there's 20 million people unemployed.
100%. 100%.
Right, but is that the same 20% that are like, or whatever, or like 15% or whatever that's unemployed now?
I think that's what they're talking about. It's the people that are unemployed when shit's not going down that they're trying to help out here.
Right.
And that, in turn, will help the economy. Anyway, Dr. Rick Bright, guys, the doctor in charge of the federal agency tasked with developing a vaccine for coronavirus, has been relieved of his duties. And he's claiming that it was because he insisted that the billions being funneled into solving the problem, quote, should be put toward safe and scientifically vetted solutions, not in drugs, vaccines, and other technologies that lack scientific merit, his words. He's specifically talking about hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, I was like, what's he mean there?
Yeah, no, he means hydroxychloroquine. So he's out. A lot of scientists are criticizing this move, saying that he was doing a fantastic job, and sidelining him right now is a bad look. But, I guess others feel that hydroxychloroquine is the move.
Yeah, but Trump needed to fire a scientist. He had to scratch that itch, I feel like, with all the people disagreeing with him. He had to get that out of his system, so this was the fallback, unfortunately.
True.
Yeah, fucking pencil pushers, know-it-alls. Anyway, guys, it's looking like the House will be passing a new coronavirus relief stimulus bill today. Already went through the Senate, and that's totaling $484 billion of additional aid, with $320 billion of that focused on paycheck protection programs to help struggling small businesses. So, sorry, large restaurant chains and companies with large-ass cash reserves, this does not mean you. And that's part of the reason why they went ahead and did this. Obviously, no amount of aid that we could muster would solve the problem, but a lot of these a-hole companies that had cash on hand, we covered with Shake Shack, et cetera, went in, took a plate from the buffet, and left a lot of mom and pops out to dry, so to speak.
Yeah, I saw a funny story where Ruth Chris got like $20 million, and a bunch of people are having there's 260,000 people out there signing a petition trying to force Ruth Chris to give back their money, and I don't think they're doing too good that particular steakhouse. So it must just suck having a bunch of people out there.
Agreed.
Protesting.
There's a bit of debate about it. So Potbelly, for example, Potbelly sandwiches, right? They took a large loan. And they got criticized for it. I think they might have given it back even. But their CEO came out and
Hey. I'm all about, and I have been, going to local restaurants and buying to go food and alcohol. But name me a mom and pop shop that makes a better toasted sandwich than a wreck.
Well, we've been saying from the start, you need to support your businesses with your
Potbelly's
wallet.
alone,
Well, hold on. So
Potbelly's isn't even that great. Come on.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Talking about Potbelly's isn't that great.
It's
terrible.
Amazing.
My God.
Well,
Can't believe anything you say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what's the move?
What the CEO of the best sandwich shop in America say, Pat?
But why don't you go back and taste it with your 30-something taste buds, not your high school taste buds? Tell me it's still fucking great. He said the money was going to go into their employees' pockets anyhow. So, that's been the criticism. The Potbelly's guy was like, look, we were going to give this to all of our employees that we furloughed. And also, Wes, to your point, the Ruth Chris thing, it's really showing us that the restaurant industry, if you worked in it, doesn't have a lot of runway when it comes to cash. It's a business that if they are closed, they don't have a lot of reserves to take care of it. So
even the big boys,
You also have to have a better local sandwich shop than Ruth.
The CEO of
Potbelly's.
The CEO of Potbelly said. The CEO of Potbelly said, "We don't even give you the option to not toast it. You're welcome."
Do you guys remember on that bachelor party we stopped in Golden, Colorado, and went to that sandwich shop?
That's a great sandwich shop.
Look, there are a lot of good sandwich shops. I just like sandwiches. Leave Potbelly's alone.
Anyway, that's that. Mark, what's up with the cats?
Mark, remember when you? What did you? How many of the things? Oh yeah. First of all, whoa.
Jesus.
We could bleep that out. How many Quiznos subs did you eat in a row?
Oh, back in the day when they had the big subs, I had 2 larges, which were about 14 inches and about 6 inches wide. And the lady goes, "Oh my God, he ate 2."
I remember that was a crazy day. I remember.
PFT bet me I couldn't do it, and he lost that bet. But he's lost several food bets.
Well, you and I knew at that time what Mark was
guy,
doing was going to lead to obesity because we were actually affected by food at that time.
That was when I was running. That was when I was running 50 miles a week.
Yeah, I was always amazed at Mark's ability to eat and then not gain weight, and then later in life it changes. So
catches up to you. Yeah. But I've got a surprise story, guys. Bad news for me and Will too. Actually, turns out all my taunting of animals, doing the safari quarantines and the laughing at Duchess the decapitated zebra has caught up to me. And that's because on Wednesday, it was revealed that 2 domestic cats in New York City have tested positive for the coronavirus, becoming the first what everyone besides PETA employees call pets to officially contract the coronavirus in the United States of America.
And let me guess, they could breathe it onto you too. Probably.
Well, we're going to talk about that a lot. We're going to talk about that a lot right now. So now,
very clean animals, Will.
They're awesome. They lick themselves
unless they're pissing on the fucking walls.
Well, that you probably made
what
them.
Cat
probably
pisses on a wall?
Yeah, what are you doing to these cats?
Male cats?
Not if you neuter them, or yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything.
Yeah, no, they don't piss on the walls, Wes. All you got to do is take their balls from them.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
So you're supposed to do with all animals. Pat.
What are you, like an intact guy?
Yeah,
like a
No,
big time. I'll never neuter a dog. I'll never neuter or spay a dog.
I'm not an intact guy. I'm absolutely take the balls off the animal guy, but I'm also not a fucking cat guy because you got to fucking take the balls off the animal so it doesn't piss on your fucking wall.
No, it's because you torture cats.
I don't torture cats. I'm at odds with them.
Yeah, because you treat them like shit. Now, before everyone says
they treat me like shit.
No, they don't. Now, before everyone says who the hell is getting these adorable cats tested, not even all the humans can get tested. Just shut the fuck up. They got tested because their owners got them tested. You miserable bastards.
Their owners are rich.
Yeah,
if you're
exactly.
testing your cat for coronavirus,
they're rich owners that treat their cats well and vice versa. Got them fucking tested.
Mark, if he had $1 billion.
Yeah,
but how many cat owners?
$10,000.
Every cat owner like sits and looks at their cat and they're like, I think it's depressed, or like I think
no,
my
cats
sick.
are so happy.
Yeah.
No,
they think what can I do for this cat? They think what can I do for this cat?
Yeah, what led to them being like he's
no? You guys have no frame of reference. You have no frame of reference. Apparently, the cats were showing signs of moderate respiratory infections, which is kind of like a cat trying to cough up a hairball constantly with nothing coming out. That and their eyes leak pus like nobody's business. It looks like they got in a fight. There's like eye boogers everywhere. That must be URI. Looks like Patches has a URI. I can see your eye boogers from here. That's kind of how that goes. So that's why Patches got tested. Okay, she had a lot of eye boogers. I do the same for my cats. Allegedly, the animal tests are done at veterinary labs and use different chemicals than human tests. But I'm pretty sure those vets could test humans too. So I'm not gonna say that it's okay. But
yeah.
Wait, so what it is.
Did the cats they were outside cats?
We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it.
All right.
You know what? You act like you know anything about cats.
I've been to your house enough.
Yeah, the cats, which had mild respiratory illnesses and are expected to recover, are thought to have contracted the virus from people in their households or neighborhoods, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But we'll get to that's not really the case. There's two parts to that. So add these two cats to the tiger and lions in the Bronx Zoo, and a handful of other animals worldwide is officially having the coronavirus. U.S. authorities said, here you go, Will, that while it appears some animals can get the virus from people, there's no indication that the animals are transmitting it to human beings.
No indication means.
But how the fuck are we supposed to believe that? What are they sticking? What'd they do? They stick a bunch of people's faces in that tiger at the Bronx Zoo. Healthy people. Yeah.
Look, I filmed my cribs thing way before we ever covered any of these animal stories at the beginning of the quarantine, and I called that Mike would be who brought the corona into the household, and I'm standing by that call at this point because it seems like he's always out and about in the neighborhood. He's always mixing it up. He's whatever, and then he comes it back into the house. Yeah, the cats.
It's not going to be you. You stay at home. Wait, we should be able to tell soon, actually, because one of these dipshit cats in New York most likely got the virus while patrolling the neighborhood and sniffing butts because no human in its house had the virus. So there you go. There's your Mike theory proven. Mm-hmm. So just make those people snuggle with whiskers, and we will be able to tell if humans can get this from their pets or not, right? Just shove those humans right in Whiskers' face like they're not going to do it anyways. Just test them every day.
What kind of scolding do you give to your pet if it gives you corona? Is it different than like a normal?
Well, if it's you and it's a cat, if it's you and a cat, you pull its tail, and then you're like, oh, why is this cat hissing at me? The CDC is recommending that people
prevent trying to pet it, bro. It keeps running away from me.
Sure. The
CDC trying to give it love.
Sure. Okay. The CDC is recommending that people prevent their pets from interacting with people or animals outside their homes, even though they're saying, don't panic, we don't think pets can give this to humans. So what? They're asking people to keep their cats indoors now and dogs out of dog parks, but these animals can't give it to you. So that's a new thing. It's our fucking pets can get it.
Well, I mean, good luck trying to keep an outdoor cat inside.
Well, that's what I'm about to ask you.
How would I do it?
You think Big Mike would accept?
Yeah, got to keep the doors shut. It's hard.
You think
no,
Pat?
Pissing on those walls.
There it is. You think
That's
Big
true,
Mike will
Wes.
accept it if you try to keep
No,
him
he
inside?
would piss on the walls. You're right.
What-
That's the one thing that would drive him to piss on the walls is locking him inside.
Wouldn't he meow like his leg was being sawed off for hours
it
on
would be
end?
you couldn't. You
until they're
wouldn't.
out,
I don't even want to imagine what it would be like, honestly.
You'd get no sleep. Luckily, my cats are trained to be couch and bed cats.
Yeah,
So
they're ready for it. Yeah.
They get what they want, so they don't
They're
meow.
quarantine cats. Yeah, not at all.
Do you know how well they're treated? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they got nothing to
they're
meow
treated-
about.
They are treated really well. Before everyone gets in a tizzy, you're fear-mongering, calm down. The Hong Kong agricultural authorities concluded that pet dogs and cats couldn't pass the virus to human beings, but could test positive if exposed to their owners back in mid-March. So there it is, conclusive, because nothing's changed since mid-March with this disease, and all the information coming out of China on corona has been accurate.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not really helping much, is it?
No. Make those fucking people in New York snuggle with their cat. I want to know if they got it or not.
Yeah, that's the only way to find out. You just gotta lock some people in a room with some infected cats.
Yeah.
It's easy to do.
It was tough. It was tough with the tiger at the Bronx Zoo. That's a little dangerous. But
Right. Yeah, they can do this.
Well, I can't wait for the. We were talking before the show. I can't wait for the antibody test because if I had the bug in any way, I know it was the cat.
Yeah.
I know it was the cat.
Probably that cat gets out there, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying he's a neighborhood cat. He's it's like a germ magnet, for the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
he's bringing in whatever the neighborhood has.
Yeah. All right, guys. I know a lot of you have been wondering this over the past few weeks, so it's time to answer the questions of what is Bruce Willis up to and who is he banging?
Yes.
Yeah. This is the quarantine edition. It's the first edition of this segment here on Hard Factor, potentially the last, but it is an important question.
No. Because I have that thought too frequently for this to be the last.
Okay. Well, then we'll keep it going. So, it's an important question, especially after I stumbled upon the CNN article titled, "This is why Bruce Willis is isolating with ex Demi Moore and not his wife." And though the explanation may be obvious to me, I could be totally wrong. So let's get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I think I have an idea.
Yeah, and also find out if he's definitely banging Demi Moore again. So now we all know the Bruce Willis, Demi Moore story. Two famous movie stars, lust, attraction, relationship, 3 kids, divorced. Ashton Kutcher, which was Demi's third marriage. Anyway, Demi and Bruce have 3 daughters together, Scout, Rumor, and Tallulah, and have remained very close and extremely too close, friends since their 13-year marriage ended in 2000, which is great for the kids. I think that's very beneficial. You get a divorce, you have kids, you should remain,
It's great for everyone.
Yeah, it's great for everyone.
Great for them when they're hooking up. It's great for the kids.
It's really just
even when Ashton Kutcher
positive all around.
Yeah.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, so even when Ashton Kutcher swooped in to bang his ex-wife, Willis formed some say strange relationship with Kutcher. It was one big happy family at all times, and that relationship that Demi and Bruce share has remained strong, so much so that Bruce has chosen to quarantine with Demi and their 3 kids and 2 of their boyfriends, and not his current wife, Emma.
To be fair, though, if you're Kutcher, you're just going to deal with Bruce Willis.
No,
bullying
you.
Right.
But Kutcher divorced to me more like 10 years ago. He's with the girl from that 70s show, Mila Kunis.
This probably has something to do with it. You might think.
Yeah, it has a lot to do.
You might connect those dots.
You don't want Bruce Willis around all the time?
No.
Not really.
I hear he's a terror.
He's a what?
I hear he's a terror. I hear he's terrible.
Oh yeah. Well,
Harry Stamper.
He's always asking for the threesome with Kutcher, and he's like, "Come on."
Well,
That's actually why Kutcher and Demi Moore broke up, is because Demi Moore was not down with Kutcher wanting to have an open relationship.
Yeah. Well, Bruce Willis is the human form of a male cat that just pisses on all your walls. Basically,
got to take his balls, man.
Yeah. So Emma, he's decided to be in quarantine with Demi and their 3 kids and 2 of their boyfriends, and not his current wife Emma, who's very attractive herself, and their 2 young kids, Mabel Ray, who is 8, and Evelyn Penn, who is 5. Seems pretty obvious.
Bruce Willis's new wife is hot. No way.
Yeah. Well, it seems pretty obvious that Bruce decided that it had been long enough since he banged Demi, so he ditched the new family and new vagina for the old family and the old vagina.
Tell it like it is. This isn't what happened.
But Bruce is like trying to keep a cat indoors.
Yeah.
Keeping him away from Demi is just pointless.
No, it's pointless. You're gonna have to snip his nuts off for that to happen. But it's not that simple, guys. You see, as Scout expanded on for the tabloids and others who are dying to know what the fuck Bruce is up to, it seems that Bruce, Demi, and Emma and all the kids and boyfriends had actually planned to quarantine together at Demi's home in Idaho. Pretty normal, right? Not sure how Emma let that fly. She must be very understanding of family. But before heading out to her nightmare, Emma was walking with her and Bruce's 2 young girls at a park. And as Scout describes it, quote, my younger sister, who is now about to be 6 years old, at a park, had never gotten the talk about not fucking with hypothermic, I think, is it hypodermic, but she said hypothermic.
Hypodermic.
Yeah, needles that she found. So she actually tried to poke her shoe with it and poked her foot. Poked her foot.
Why are there needles in the park? You shouldn't.
Why is there somebody named
I think they might have been in New Jersey.
There it is.
Yeah.
They didn't get the same permission slip I did.
Yeah. There it is.
It's true.
Yeah, that's true.
So Emma had to stay back in L.A. while the test results of whether young Evelyn would live or not came back in from Scout. And then Scout said, quote, then travel got crazy, so my stepmom stayed in L.A. with my little sisters. And that is how Bruce Willis got to bang Demi Moore again.
Yeah, Bruce is like, we don't need two parents to go check if she's okay.
Right, yeah. And something tells me that this may end his current marriage because no woman in their right mind would be okay with Bruce Willis shacking up with his old family and hot ex-wife while she stays 1,000 miles away with their kids.
He's taking family portraits.
With the 6-year-old that's got an infection from stabbing herself with the needle. Yeah,
they're wearing matching pajamas on Instagram. The marriage is over.
That was a joke. I thought the family portrait thing was a joke. He's literally doing it.
No, he's mocking her from 1,000 miles away.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
It's like the Parent Trap. The kids are parent trapping them, and they're willing.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, I don't think Bruce Willis has gone more than 24 hours with sex in his life, so I don't think he's going to just stay in a quarantine house with Demi and not and what? Come on.
What are you shitting me? No way.
Yeah.
So one source says that Demi and Emma are close, and all 3 get along great as a blended family. There are no issues at all. Emma needed to stay in L.A. with the young kids. And
Emma's going to be in L.A. forever.
She's going to be in L.A. and she's got herself a brand new house.
Yeah.
Bruce has private jet money, though, right?
Emma's going to be in L.A. with 30 to 45% of Bruce Willis's current
That's right.
net worth.
Yep, that's right. So, I mean, I kid, he's probably banging Demi, who knows. But
Come on.
I think it's great that they have one big family. Very important for kids, like I said, being cool with each other. Still think he's banging Demi, but it's great to keep close for the kids and all that stuff. And many relationships go sour, and it's better, this way. I don't know. You know what I mean.
Yeah. I'm glad we dove into this.
Yeah, me too. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Keep those Florida man stories coming. If you live in Canada or another state or country and have a great Florida man esque story, send those in too. We may create a special segment inside the Florida Man Show and include those stories. We
might just mix them in, but we'll see.
We'll see. We might call it something different, like Florida Man on Vacation.
Yeah, let's just call Florida Friday off then. Yeah.
Any ideas for what the new segment should be, Mark? Mark's very up in arms about losing.
I don't know. I don't know what the point of putting a poll in is, and then having the winning poll not following it. I would say if you're gonna do that, that's fine, but definitely do like a lightning round of other idiots or something like that. Not just mix in one story is Florida, and then next story is not, and the next story is not.
Mark will be programming Florida Man Fridays.
Well, then just change the name. Just get rid of Florida.
No, we'll just create a new segment inside Florida Man Friday.
That makes more sense.
All right, cool. Florida Man on Vacation or something like that. All right. Keep those 5-star reviews coming and voicemails. Also, if you're Derek from Raleigh, North Carolina, your call cut out before your question could come through. So try again, 512-270-1480. Again, all the sizes are back in for the Lockdown Turn-Up Tee. Goes to charity, Meals on Wheels. Help out with that. Our free Joe Exotic Tee is also available. Our Shades Tee is 50% off. So grab one of those before they're gone. And, hey, if you have a good T-shirt idea, send it our way. Maybe we will print it. Spread the word. Thank a nurse. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. And have a great fucking day.